Title: Heat is on. 93 million Americans bracing for weekend scorcher! TLDR. Prepare for sweat, folks. Over 93 million peeps across the US are bracing themselves for an oven-like weekend, thanks to a formidable heatwave stretching from the Gulf Coast to the West Coast. Records could tumble with temperatures expected to flirt with the 120 degrees Fahrenheit mark in some regions. As they say, if you can't stand the heat, well, in this case, there's really nowhere else to go. Ladies and gents, if you were planning to head out this weekend for a picnic or a game of catch, we've got some scorching news for you. But remember, we don't make the rules, or the weather, we just report it. If we could, we'd dial the heat down a notch, believe us. The National Weather Service has hinted at a hot and heavy date with a heatwave of epic proportions. A whopping 93 million Americans from the Gulf Coast to the West Coast are set to be up close and personal with what could be record-smashing temperatures. This steamy rendezvous isn't just for a quick catch-up, it's expected to intensify throughout the weekend. Do you feel the sizzle? Or is it just global warming catching up? Southern California, Southern Nevada, and Southern Arizona could very well find themselves in the 120 degrees Fahrenheit hot seat. We're not talking about a light sauté scenario here, folks. It's more of a deep fry kind of heat wave. We have to ask, is it time to invest in personal air conditioning suits? Yet ? And it's not just the West Coast. The South Central US, Florida, and regions from Texas to Florida are bracing for some equally cooking conditions, with temperatures potentially rising to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Morning, noon, or night, the heat is playing for keeps, offering little in the way of respite. It's like Mother Nature turned the oven on, walked away, and forgot about the turkey. Us. The National Weather Service isn't pulling any punches, calling this one of the strongest high-pressure systems this region has ever seen. Even climate change cartoons can't lighten this heavy forecast. So, what's your heatwave survival plan, folks? Homemade popsicles? A kiddie pool in the living room? A siesta in the freezer? Remember, it's not advice, we're just spitballing. Disclaimer, this news report does not provide health, safety, or investment advice. It is for informational purposes only. Stay safe and take necessary precautions during extreme heat conditions. Now, as the mercury rises and we brace ourselves for what could be one for the record books, it leaves us pondering. Is this just a taste of what's to come as the effects of climate change continue to ramp up? If our current reality is this sweltering, what might the dog days of summer look like for future generations? Let's crank up the AC, hydrate, and sit this dance out while we contemplate. What do you think, folks? Is this a sign of more searing summers to come, or are we just experiencing an unusually blistering anomaly?